Jai. My obeisances to everyone. Vanshakapatarubhyascha kripa sindhu evacha. Patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Our prayers to Srila Prabhupada for his blessings and his presence and enlightenment. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitame. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Picharni Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskisha Deshitarne. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangun Langayate Garimya Kripatamam Vandeshi Gurundinataram. Great to be with everyone as always. My highlight of my life, being with my real family. I never had children, and it's like the best real children that are. A friend of mine who also accepts disciples, very nice devotee, he said that disciples are your children, but they actually listen to you. Because he has other children, that don't listen, but this is like the perfection, wonderful. And it's real. It's not based on some illusion that I'm the mother or I'm the father, I'm the child. This is real. We're acknowledging our real position as a soul, and our guru is our teacher, our father, everything combined, representative of Krishna. At the same time, has some eternal identity with Krishna as well. And how all that fits in, be honest, I don't know. I haven't realized it yet, but that will come in time. But all I know is it's very sweet to be with you all and guiding you. I feel, when I'm in this position, I feel Prabhupada's presence more than ever, because I need him here to empower me. Okay, so we have, let's start out with, anyone have any epiphanies or realizations that came up in the last time since we were together that you wanted to share?
Well, I could share one.
Sure.
Yeah, that, when I go to the gym and I do the rowing machine, because that's supposed to be a full body workout, it's very boring. It's absolutely very boring for me. And instead of doing 10 minutes, I do 5 minutes. And it's a struggle to do 5 minutes, unless I'm talking to someone, I can do a lot. But when I was on the cruise ship, I was doing 12 minutes because I was doing Hare Krishna when I was doing my thing. So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I was doing it that way, and it flew by just like that. So I put it out to anybody who, is having trouble exercising and finding it boring, that I was doing my chanting and it worked.
That's nice. I do the same thing when I kayak often. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare.
Right. Yeah.
And then usually from there, I'll just go into some meditation of Krishna. But it's a way to start.
Yeah. 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 I had no trouble doing 12 minutes when I struggled with 5. So, yay.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what a progress that you've made, Francia, because you weren't too big on the name in the beginning.
No,
I
couldn't believe it. People would do 16, 18 rounds and saying that whole prayer on one bead. I thought, oh my God.
It's very sweet. It's my favorite, literally my favorite part of the day.
Wow.
And go on wake the deities, brush my teeth, and off to my private time with Krishna, walking and chanting. It's really sweet. Knowing that he's fully in every mantra, he's present. It's Dharma, that's how we'll actually realize Krishna in this day and age. I'm going to change his view here back to gallery. Okay, there we go. Cool. Well, we've got a bunch of questions today, and let's see how we do with these. So, I hadn't put my thoughts together on this, but we were having a discussion in a Srimad Bhagavatam class the other day. The speaker was talking about how people situated in the different modes of nature, their sort of take on their mood, their level of pleasure that they're experiencing. And we're talking about material pleasure, but still. So we were discussing those. Actually, he didn't discuss this, but I'm going to discuss it further because I added more to what he was saying, and it was getting deep, and I was really liking this. So, in the mode of ignorance, people who are situated in the mode of ignorance, they're always bummed out. They're never happy. The only time they'll maybe get some happiness, and I talk about illusory happiness, like they're bummed out, they hate the world, they hate everything, they're very pessimistic, don't even try because you're never going to succeed. And but they'll get some real mode of ignorance pleasure out of drinking down a bottle of wine, right? Or taking some horrible drug like crystal methamphetamine. They'll get into this kind of stuff. It'll give them some buzz, but basically they hate life and everything's horrible. And they're, don't even try because you're like there's that song Bob Dylan's saying, well, I should probably look up the words, they'll stone you when you're this, and they'll stone you when that, and they'll stone you when you're feeling good, and stone you when you're feeling bad. What are the words of that song? Anybody know them? When you're trying to be good, they'll stone you. I mean, it's real kind of real mode of ignorance song. Let me find it. Let me see here. I should have done this ahead of time. Where's a quote?
I found it, Gurudev. Well, they'll stone you when you're walking on the street. They'll stone you when you're trying to keep your seat. They'll stone you when you're walking on the floor. They'll stone you when you walk in through the door. Oh, they'll stone you when you're at the breakfast table. They'll stone you when you're young and able. They'll stone you when you're trying to make a book. They'll stone you and then they'll say good luck. When they'll stone, there's more actually, there's more. When they'll stone you and say that it's the end, they'll stone you and come back again. They'll stone you when you're riding in your car. They'll stone you when you're playing your guitar. Well, they'll stone you when you're all alone. They'll stone you when you are walking home. They'll stone you, and then they say they're all brave. They'll stone you when you're sent down in your grave.
So anyway, that's not a real upbeat song, is it? I mean, you know, this is Dylan, but this is back in the 60s. And it was very popular. It was very popular. I mean, it was on like the, you know, one of the top songs, because everybody knew it was true. That, you know, life is just, and this is a mode of ignorance. Why bother? You're going to get stoned. Everyone's going to stone you. Don't even bother. This is mode of ignorance. That's kind of where they come from. Okay, then the mode of passion. The mood is that people are very enthusiastic. They're not enjoying, but they're optimistic that they can find enjoyment. And they work very, very hard for it. And they work hard, they go to work, they do this, that. But the fact is, they never find it. You work hard like an ass. They're working, thinking, you know, everything's going to be great. They get a family and, you know, I think this is going to be great. But anyway, it's nothing but problems. It's nothing but trouble. And then you get old and die. So they're kind of enthusiastic, but it's not going to work. You can't find any real happiness in this world because it doesn't exist here. Then those in the mode of goodness, this wasn't discussed. In the mode of material goodness, I was thinking that they don't find any pleasure either, but at least they feel a sense of peace, a sense of peace. Now remember, none of the modes of nature exist alone. You're never purely in the mode of ignorance, or purely in the mode of passion, or purely in the mode of goodness. But we didn't talk at all in that class about those in the mode of goodness. And I was really thinking about this, that those in the mode of goodness who are feeling peace, sometimes they'll be influenced by, actually could even be ignorance or passion, but they're mostly in goodness. And what I was thinking is that at least in the mode of goodness, there's the possibility that they may perform something a little bit in the mode of pure goodness. Actually, anyone can do that by engaging in devotional service. So if someone is the mode of goodness, they're more likely to say, if they walk by a kirtan, they're more likely to appreciate it. They're more likely to listen. And they're often people in the mode of goodness, I found, in preaching. You know, we can tell people that they're vegetarian, this is not spiritual being a vegetarian, but they're more in the mode of goodness. They're likely candidates to become Krishna conscious. So, but I guess my meditation when I was thinking about that was that those in the mode of goodness, they're more likely to do something in the mode of pure goodness. But Lord Chaitanya makes it such that even anyone, even a bum, and we give the example Prabhupada gave was that the time some bums stumbled in to 56 2nd Avenue, or the very first temple, and he brought in some paper towels, and he just put them down, and they walked out. He was drunk or something, but he did some service. And anyone, Lord Chaitanya makes it so easy. It doesn't really matter where one's situated. Normally in spiritual life, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, before you're going to perform devotional service, there's all kinds of prerequisites. One verse, Ye shantantigata papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha niyamukta bhajate manduridvata. This is where Krishna says that Ye shantantigata papam. That means one who's completely already gotten rid of all their sinful activities. You've gone through all the process of purification to get rid of your sinful activities. You're already free from sinful activities. Jananam punya karmana, and have spent many lives doing pious things. Te dvandva moha nirmukta. They are free from duality and illusion. Bhajate mandridvata. They surrender to me. But there's all these prerequisites. Krishna says, out of many thousands of men, many may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have attained perfection, what malati? And of those who have attained perfection,
hardly one knows me in truth.
Hardly one knows me in truth. These are people that have become perfect on some level. And those are, they're detaching themselves from the material world. They're trying, but Krishna says, hardly one who's even trying. Out of thousands among men, and of those who obtain, but hardly one, it's to know me. It's very difficult. It wasn't easy. But Lord Chaitanya made it so easy that anyone, even the lowest bum in the street, can perform some service and start their life. So therefore, as devotees in our preaching, we don't really discriminate. Anyone is a possibility. And I've seen it. I've seen some just crazy people come. Even I see at the temple, there's some people they're crazy, but they like devotees, and they'll come wash pots or something. But they're still nutty. Nutty as a fruitcake, but they're devotees, and they're making progress. Malati's laughing. She's been around temples enough to see some of the nutty people.
No, when you say nutty as a fruitcake, that's what I found it funny. The expression that you use, nutty as a fruitcake, I've never heard that before, so I found that funny.
That's a standard American thing. Nutty as a fruitcake.
I've never heard that.
Nobody's heard it before?
Oh, I've heard it. I love fruitcake too.
Yeah. It usually has eggs in it, so I haven't found any eggless, but it's probably out there. Okay, so let's go on to some questions. So the first one came in was actually Ellie, and she's asking a very important question. The living entities she's quoting from the first canto of the Bhagavatam. Living entities are parts and parcels of the Lord. There are two varieties, namely nitya-baddha and nitya-mukta and nitya-baddha. The nitya-muktas are eternally liberated souls, and they eternally engage in reciprocation of transcendental loving service with the Lord in his eternal abode beyond the manifestation of mundane creations. But the nitya-baddhas are eternally conditioned souls, are entrusted to the external energy, Maya, the rectification of their rebellious attitude towards the Supreme Father. Okay, so she's asking, the use of the term eternally liberated souls and eternally conditioned souls here is confusing to me. I can certainly see why. It makes it seem like conditioned souls are forever conditioned and never liberated. Can we eventually become liberated souls? If so, why is the word eternally used here? Well, that's a good question. I'd be thinking, if I just read that, like, yeah, why bother? I'm conditioned soul. When am I going through all this chanting and reading all these books and stuff? I'm eternally damned, right? Nitya means what? What does nitya mean? Anybody? Malati, what's nitya mean?
Eternal.
Eternal. So the conditioned souls are nitya-baddha. They're eternally they're eternally tied up. They stay here forever. Okay, let's have Parampara Prabhu try to unravel this for us. Can you answer the question? I'm sure you can.
Yes, Gurudev. So nitya-baddha and nitya-mukta, because we are called nitya-baddha because we have been in this material world for a very long time, and because of that we are not able to trace the our first origin here, because it has already been a very long time. So that's why we are nitya-baddha. Nitya-mukta means one who is always liberated. Normally, it's used for devotees, like it's called Parsad Koti. It's normally meaning devotees of eternal world, who has never fall down, who has always been in association of Krishna. And when Krishna comes to manifest his pastimes, they come with him, or when Krishna wants them to go and preach, they come and they stay here for a while and they leave. But we being nitya baddha, also we have the opportunity that with the blessings of Guru Gauranga we can go back to the spiritual world, and we can also be eternally situated there. So we also have that opportunity, provided we get blessings from Guru Gauranga.
It's an excellent answer. Very well explained. Thank you. Proud of you. Yes, it's not literal. It's not a literal term. It's a figurative term. So we've been here for so long that Prabhupada often says it's innumerable. In other words, there's no number that can, there's of all the numbers, there's no, you could have like a 10 with zeros behind it going all the way around the world. we can't conceive of how long we've been here. So it's called nitya. But actually, everybody sooner or later goes back to Krishna. But while we're here, we're called nitya-baddha. Just like, say, if you're in jail, it's going to, maybe you get out after a certain point, but when you're in jail, it seems like you're never getting out of jail. Like it's going to be, maybe you're doing a 50-year sentence. It's going to seem like, you're forever there. So in this material world, it's so long. They're considered conditioned souls, and they're nitya-baddha. They're here. They're like here for all intents and purposes forever. But when you compare that, when they actually go back to the spiritual world, even though they've been here since time immemorial, it's not even a millisecond. It's not even when you compare even billions and trillions of lifetimes, it's not even a millisecond when you're back in the spiritual world, because it's timeless. And Krishna says in the Gita, "Tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimamiti sarjana." When we go back to the spiritual world, we'll never come back again. Prabhupada says we can, but we never will. But that was a very important question. Yeah, it's not literal. It's figurative. If you're familiar with that literal and figurative, the difference. Yeah, we're not. Nobody stays here forever. but it seems like forever. But when you go back, it seems like it was nothing. So, is that clear?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Guru Day. Thank you, Parampara.
Yeah, Parampara answered that perfectly. Okay. Okay, this question is coming from I think Lakshman. Oh, I'm a little confused by the first paragraph. It says in SB, Srimad Bhagavatam, I assume, HDG, which usually is Fridananda Das Goswami.
Oh, I'm sorry, His Divine Grace.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
No, I just haven't seen it in so long. I didn't remember. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, thank you. And no needs for apologies. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada discusses ideal government a few times in chapter 10 and 11 purports, and a spiritual vision of communism, democracy, and monarchy. The purport is from 1949. Quote, Maharaj Yudhisthira is the ideal monarch, and monarchy under a trained king like Maharaj Yudhisthira is by far the most superior form of government, superior to modern republics or governments of the people by the people. The mass of people, especially in the age of Kali, are all born Sudras, basically low-born, ill-trained, unfortunate, and badly associated. They themselves do not know the highest perfectional aim of life. Therefore, votes cast by them actually have no value, and thus persons elected by such irresponsible votes cannot be responsible representatives like Maharaj Yudhisthira. 2 points from this purport stood out to me, and I wondered if you can elaborate. Monarchy under a trained king like Maharaj Yudhisthira is by far the most superior form of government. Gurudev, is it even possible in Kali Yuga? Therefore, votes cast by them, ill-trained, unfortunate, badly associated, actually have no value. Is a democratic system doomed to fail? What does devotional participation in governance look like? Well, traditionally in our Vaishnava line, in the Varnashram Dharma, the king, there is a king. And the king is a pure devotee. He's a complete pure devotee, and he's perfect. He's guided by the Brahmins. He's in the Kshatriya class, but he's guided by the Brahmins, and he himself is perfect. And everybody loves them. All the great kings we read about, like King Yudhisthira, King Parikshit, all the citizens loved him like a father. And he loved everyone like a father. Not just everyone, but every living entity. They care about the praja. Praja means every living being. Every living being they're protecting. So, and they don't make mistakes. They're guided by the Brahmanas, and it's the perfect situation. The Sudras aren't qualified. They're anyway. It's the perfect system. Now, the in this age we're living now, no one is qualified. There's literally nobody qualified. And the system of democracy, for example, I've seen it really fail recently. I mean, really fail. I mean, on even a Kali Yuga standard, America was a pretty good country. I mean, it was based on freedom of speech. It was based on freedom of religion, right? The country was based on good things, but it's become degraded since we became a country and a democracy. So in the past, in my lifetime, I've seen people vote, and they would pick, I guess, a relatively good leader with lots of flaws. Only a pure devotee is really capable to be a king. And it seems like we've had, at least well-meaning presidents in the past for the most part. But now we recently saw in this last election, they voted in this crazy Donald Trump, who I hope we don't have any Trumpers on board here, but he's tearing down the White House, like the East Wing, where so many presidents have stayed, because he wants himself to be he wants to defame everyone, and wants to be seen as the greatest leader of all. But he's such a fool. He sells steaks. He's all about money for himself. So it's insane. It's a crazy time.
Yeah.
But at least we can read back in the Bhagavatam to know what it was like. But when we got into Kali Yuga, that's when everything went downhill. Prior to Kali Yuga, we had good kings. But when we got into Kali Yuga, everything fell apart. So this last election, everybody knew that Donald Trump was a felon, a convicted felon, and totally unqualified. There's a really neat verse in the Bhagavatam, funny verse. Sva vidra hostrakarai sangstutak purushak pashu niyat karna patopeto jatu namagadagajaha. Translation. Those men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the glories of the Lord, the deliverer from all evils. In other words, do you think if a horse could vote, or a dog, say a horse, a dog, a camel, and an ass came up to vote, would they be able to pick a good president? I mean, literally. So the Bhagavatam is saying these people in this age are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. And they praise those men who are not holy. And we see it. Who is really praised in this day and age? Football players, rock stars, right? Movie stars. I mean, they're decadent people. Nobody's praising, the world wasn't praising Prabhupada, were they? Oh, Jason joined us. Hare Krishna, Jason.
Hare Krishna. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Better
I
late.
had some work that I got caught up in.
That's okay. Thanks for coming. So the people, they're not really, according to Vedic, they're not even human. They have no idea what the purpose of life is. And they just want whatever they can get. So Donald Trump, is promising people, you're going to have this and you're going to have that, and they're so stupid they believed him. He said he was going to end the war in Ukraine. How long is it going to take him to end that war? Ran on this. How long? Day one.
Oh,
When it'll end. He promised he's going to bring prices down. Did the prices come down? They went up. I mean, he's a crazy person. But people have the voting pop. Kali Yuga is getting so degraded that they're not people. Democracy doesn't work. But there really is no solution in Kali Yuga. The only solution is that the Vaishnavas come together like we're doing now, and we are speaking the glories of Krishna. We're talking about the Bhagavatam. We're talking about spirituality. We're vibrating spiritual sound, and that is helping. And that's the only thing that can save the world at this point. But it's not going to turn around. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse as Kali Yuga progresses. But in Vedic times, prior to Kali Yuga, there were qualified people. And everybody, and I mean, if there was tornadoes, they'd be in trouble. Because they knew how to perform all kinds of sacrifices, and nothing went wrong. It was never too hot. It was never too cold. There weren't terrible diseases. Because they were pure devotees. They were empowered by God. But now, especially because there's a democracy, we have idiots voting for who's going to be in charge, and they don't recognize, nobody knows, hardly anyone knows what a holy person is. As we were saying, they glorify, the jocks, the people that are, physically beautiful, or handsome, or like maybe a great actor. They glorify. I got somebody like I don't know who's in movies now, but like who's a famous actor? I probably wouldn't even know who they are. Anyway, but they walk down the streets and everybody like. For example, I got to know the lead guitar player of Metallica, Kurt Hammett. He lived right across the street from me in Manalo, and he had to, for him to just go ride his bicycle, he had to cover up so nobody would know who he was. He put his hair all back in a cap, and he wear very regular clothes, because if people saw him, they would just, everybody wants to glorify him. He wants to have try to have a so-called normal life. But he was so popular. Anyway. It's sad. It's sad. But then again, it's not sad. We were having a discussion this morning in our Bhagavatam class about how everything's falling apart and how depressed everybody, all the devotees were feeling. I said, no, we have to see this from a different perspective. It's this Kali Yuga. Krishna planned it. Having a terror, somebody like Trump and all these wars and everything, it's going to wake people up. It's going to wake people up. Kali Yuga is there for a reason. Again, I'll quote my favorite Bible quote, especially since Jason's here. My favorite Bible quote from Hebrews, where I learned this from Tirtha. That the Lord said, I will shake the whole world, and I will shake everything that is shakeable until only that which is unshakable remains. Do you like that quote, Jason?
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I think you might have stumped me.
Oh, it's in Hebrew somewhere.
I love the book of Hebrews. I'm gonna look it up right now and see if I can find the exact quote. That's really good. That's a good one.
Yeah. So how do we understand that? My understanding, and I've had it confirmed with Tirtha, that God is, in the age of Kali Yuga, what he's doing especially is he's shaking up everything. He's shaking the world. The world's pretty shaken right now, isn't it? Wars and diseases and climate changes everywhere, right? He's shaking the whole world. He's shaking everything that's shakeable. That's us. We're getting shaken, right? He's shaking us until only that which is unshakable, that means our soul, remains to really bring us to our senses, to surrender to him. So it's not a bad thing what's happening now. I mean, from one perspective, it's a bad thing, but ultimately, it's all part of God's plan to wake people up so they'll eventually give up their sinful ways and surrender. Any luck finding it, Jason?
Yeah, you got it spot on. It says, yet once more, I will shake everything that is made, and the things which cannot be shaken may remain.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I had never heard that one before. I mean, I probably read it, but it wasn't like a memory verse for me. That's a very good quote.
Well, it's something that could go right over your head.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's things I've read and they were so far over my head, I didn't even remember them. But then years later, when I go back and read it, I've made a little advancement. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I just wasn't able to understand it at that time. So that particular verse is really powerful. I use it all the time. It's right out of our scriptures too, except I like how it's worded. I mean, it's beautiful, very powerful statement. Lakshman, does that answer your question, Prabhu?
Very much so. Thank you, Guru Dev.
Okay, good. Let's go on now to 3. All right, now, who's this? Kalki is asking, Guru Dev and assembly devotees, my question for today is regard to Bhagavad Gita 8:6. This is a very famous verse. Yang yang vapi smamam vavan chitetyante kalevaram tantang evaiti kuntaya siddhata bhava bhavita. Right out of the Bhagavad Gita. Translation, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Okay. Can you explain the state of being one remembers? That state he will attain without fail. There are so many ways souls leave their bodies. Some are natural causes, some are tragic accidents, and some are horrifyingly taken. So at the time of death, everyone's state of being is dramatically different. Does this mean their destination is different? Kalki Prabhu, my understanding of this verse is that it's not talking about the state of like, is there a storm going on at that time? Is there fire? Was there just a car accident, or was it a day when I'm walking peacefully in the park? It's more talking about when we leave this body. So we're kind of like away from that state. And the state of being is, what do we want? What do we really want? And that, and what is our karma? So if our state of being is that I just want to be with God, and I don't care if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim. I mean, if one really genuinely wants to be with God, they'll come to God. One who, I know people, they'd love to come back as a dog. Or let's say you're all about sex. You could come back in a body that has great, it's more designed for sex. You know, some animals, they can have sex all day long. And much more powerful than in the human form. Actually, we read about yogis. Sometimes when yogis are procreating, they'll take the form of like a stag, of an animal, and have very, very powerful sex. I don't know a lot about that, but I know that's in the scriptures. You seen that, Malati?
Sorry, Gurudev.
Have you read that? You remember reading that, Tom?
Yes, I remember reading it. And like you said, the sages, they do that. Yes.
Yeah, the sages, they want to have powerful sex. The whole science to it, I don't know it, but they want to have really, strong children, good children, and so on. And they can even change their form. So people that really love that, they can come back in animal forms that have really powerful, sexual experiences, more so than the human. So whatever your desires are at the time of death, if you want to just be a rock star. But the other thing, there's two components. It's what you want, and it's what your karma is. These two are together. It's the example I often give is, let's say you want to get a car. You want to go, you need a car. Well, if you're very wealthy, you can go get a, what are those fancy cars that
BMW.
Huh?
BMW.
or Ferrari, Tesla. If you got a lot of money, you can get any car you want, right? If you don't have a lot of money, you might only be able to get go on Craigslist and buy a $400 car, a piece of junk. You can get a car, but you're not going to get a very good one. So if somebody wants to come back as a dog, all right, you might come back as a dog and have a really nice master. Or you could come back as a dog on the streets of Calcutta. But you can come back as a dog. That's where the karma fits in. So that's more what it's talking about. And Krishna says, there's a verse in the Gita, Krishna says, Yanti deva vrata devan, pitran yanti pitarvata, bhutani yanti bhutechad, yanti madhya janopimam. Krishna said, those who spend their lifetime worshiping me, they come to me. Those who worship the demigods, they can go and become a demigod. Those that are working towards that, if that's their desire. Those that want to go to the planet of the forefathers, they can go to the planet of the forefathers. Those who want to join the ghosts and spirits, they can go there, come back as a ghost of some sort. So it's really whatever our state is at the time of death. That's what Krishna's talking about. And so we spend our life preparing where our mind will be. We spend our life preparing.
Thank you, Gurudev.
Okay. And then we get to Rasika Pachari. Srila Prabhupada talks about how each one of us has a special relationship with Krishna. I'm not understanding. Does this mean Krishna, Rama, Buddha, etc.? How do the avatars play a role in our relationship with Krishna? Is it that we connect with one avatar more than another? Do they all lead to the little blue cowherd boy? Interesting question. My understanding of when Prabhupada says we all have a special relationship with Krishna, he's not talking about what you're asking. What Prabhupada is saying is that everyone has, that Krishna, every living entity, there's something so special about that person that nobody else has, that Krishna has to have them. He loves them. And isn't it true that everybody we know we have a different relationship with? Everybody we know, whether we like him or don't like him, we have a different relationship with everybody we know. Jason's or anybody you have the exact same relationship with? No. Francia, you have 5 daughters. Was your relationship the same with all 5 of them?
No, in fact, somebody said they've never seen a family with so many different personalities. And so, yeah, I have to be different with each one.
Right. So Krishna does too. But not just that he has to be different. There's something special that he loves about them. Isn't there something about each of your children that you especially love?
You're right. Absolutely.
There's something special that they can give you that nobody else can give you. And that's why Krishna wants us to come back home. He misses us because there's nobody like us. He makes everybody different, like every snowflake is different. Is that?
Yeah,
So,
well, the connection is different with each one.
exactly. Very well said. That's very well said. The connection is different. And there's and he has a connection with each one of us that he doesn't have with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just, make them all the same, like a factory made. We're all completely different. And every child that comes in this world is a completely different person. And that's a false ego person. What to speak of the real beautiful ego of our soul? It's really special. Really special. I mean, the false ego relationships in this world, they're not even real. And they're interesting, but they're nothing like the people in the spiritual world. They're like really, you think you meet some characters here, they're really characters. Each of Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, which they're unlimited, but each one's like such a character that there's nobody like him ever. And that's true with everyone. And we're one of those ones that Krishna, he's got to have us back because there's nobody else like us. That's what Prabhupada's speaking about when he says we all have a unique relationship with Krishna. Okay. This is page 3. That was it. Oh, wait. We have Francia's question.
Mine can wait.
No,
Or
but we have time.
next month?
Oh, you.
Or a second one, but even that is, yeah.
That's right. No, it was an easy, it was a good question. Let me find it. I think I forgot to put it on my thing here. That was a text you sent me, wasn't it?
Yeah, right, it was text, yeah.
Here it is. Okay. My question is how to let go. I really like the question. So if everybody doesn't mind staying, I like the question a lot. My question is how to let go of perfectionism. While I intelligently know my true nature is eternal and this life is temporary and imperfect, when I'm in charge of an event for others, I want to do well, and I get caught up in being the doer at that time, forgetting about Krishna doing it, all until it's over. And I thank him for it turning out well. My concern came up when I read about renouncing the fruits of my action. Any tips on how to live with chronic professionalism? Okay, let me come back. Parampara, did we do your question?
Not yet, Gurudev.
Okay, all right. So I've thought a lot about this, and my understanding is that Krishna wants us to act as if we're the doer, but knowing that we're empowered by Krishna. Mm-hmm. So when I'm giving this class, before I started the class, I prayed to Prabhupada to empower me. While I was giving the class, I wasn't thinking that I'm just a puppet and Prabhupada's doing everything. Mm-hmm. I'm an individual, and Prabhupada wants to empower me as an individual through me. Because nobody's going to give a class just like I can give a class. But that's true with everybody that gives a class. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you already have it exactly right. That you know that your ability to do anything is ultimately coming from Krishna. But while we're doing it, we act as if we're doing. Okay. Yeah. And I think when we become really, really advanced, we're even more aware of Krishna, the role. But at the end, we offer it all to Krishna. I'll always go to my altar and thank the deities for us having a nice class. Mm-hmm. No, we have to act as if, I'm sure Arjuna's thinking he's doing it on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. He's right in there. At the end of the day, he knows it's Krishna. But at the time, it's just like I get focused on what's in front of me, and I'm not thinking about Krishna. That's normal. That's normal. Because I said to myself, how can I put into practice what I know, but I don't do it because I'm. No, you are doing it. You're recognizing. You know now that your ability to do anything is ultimately coming from Krishna. And your ability to understand things are ultimately coming from your guru. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you're gonna act, and you still have to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. You're acting, you're doing. Mm-hmm. But we know the ability to do it is Krishna and Guru. Yeah. So that's normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't need to be praised that it came out well or it worked. I just, that part doesn't bother me. It's just that I want it to work for other people if I'm in charge of something, You should. You should. We all do it. We all. Right. Okay. We have to. If it's normal, then yeah. Okay. Thank you. We act as if we're doing, but we're always giving the credit to Krishna. Okay. Have more fun with it. We don't want to feel like we're just a total puppet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have fun with it. Mm-hmm. But know at the end of the day, we'll thank Krishna. He gave us the ability. That's fine, but have fun with it.
Yeah.
And Parampara Prabhu, what was your question?
Gurudev, I had a question like how to be careful and how to watch out for niyamagraha, because repeatedly you tell also you quote one devotee saying that we have to watch out for niyamagraha when we are doing our spiritual practices. So how do we watch out or be conscious of niyamagraha, and how do we avoid it,
I
a
want,
conscious approach?
I want Malati to explain what is niyamagraha.
Agraha means doing, devotional service, but not doing for the sake of spiritual enlightenment or advancement, but doing it whimsically or doing it just for the sake of doing it.
Or not doing it at all.
Or not doing it at all.
Yeah, there's niyamagraha and niyamagraha.
Yes.
They're actually two different terms.
Yes.
So niyamagraha, my understanding, to make it a little more clear, is that we're doing service, but our heart's not there.
Mm.
You could cook the best meal for Krishna, but if your heart wasn't in it, Krishna's not going to be very pleased with it. But if you do it with love, and it's not, maybe you're not a very good cook. I've given this example before. There's one lady, he's so advanced, she's so wonderful, but she's not a good cook. But when she has me over for dinner, I love eating her food because I know it was made, her heart's there. And so Bhakti is all Krishna. Well, he doesn't care about he just wants the Bhakti. He wants the devotion. That's all he wants. Everything is based on devotion, the devotion that's there. Now, how do we avoid, Parampara's question is a great question. What is a technique so our heart's there? And my answer is, we just have to think about it and be cautious and, beat our mind from time to time. Like I've gone offer my obeisances to Prabhupada, see here, in the altar, and I'll think, my mind wasn't there at all. I'm going to do it again. I was just words came out of my mouth. Krishna's not pleased with that. I mean, he's not displeased. At least I tried. Better to mechanical than nothing at all. But what he wants is our heart in it. And we just have to be conscious. We have to remind ourselves. We have to work at it. And I'll tell you, for me, it's been a lifelong battle to keep the niyamagraha, to not perform niyamagraha type service. It really has to be an offering to Krishna. And we just have to beat our minds, wake it up, catch yourself when you did it wrong, and say that. I mean, I've chanted Gayatris that were so poor that I just do it over again. I was like, I'm almost toward the end of chanting my Gayatri, and it was so poor. My mind was all, especially in the afternoon, a little more difficult. I just do it over. It was like, you have to sometimes beat your mind. And if you beat your mind, Krishna likes watching you beat your mind. He knows you're trying. I think it's something everyone struggles with until it becomes natural and pure, until the love really awakens. We're doing devotional service in practice. That's sadhana bhakti. It means it's in practice. We're practicing. And eventually it will come. Eventually it will come. I can say I'm a lot better than I was, but it's still got a ways to go. And that's true in any religious tradition. Isn't that true, Jason? In Christianity, it's all about your heart, isn't it? Whatever you do for God.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a scripture that's on the tip of my tongue that will come, I'm sure, right after this meeting is over.
Okay. Yeah, it's all about our heart. Our heart's got to be there. We can't do it empty. It's like shooting with blanks.
I got it.
Okay.
Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Say it again.
Man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Perfect. So that's what we have to do. We have to not just be concerned about the outward appearance. Everything's got to be done with the heart. That's all Krishna cares about, is the heart. What else do we have to give Krishna? He's got everything. It's the only thing we can give him that he doesn't already have is our heart. He didn't make us as automatons. Krishna gave us free will so we could love him or not love him. We could give our heart or not give our heart. That's what makes love love, isn't it? And we all have the same experience. When somebody does something for us really sincerely, it breaks it. It tears us up. It's so sweet. But if somebody just does something mechanically, you can tell. Like I can even like tell in a hug. Like a good hug is like, whoa, worth $1 million. Right? You feel, in a handshake. My mother used to tell my sisters, when you shake someone's hand, because women, often they don't give a good hand, they will give a dead fish. But my mother I remember telling my sisters, shake the man's hand. What do you shake a person's hand like you mean it. Put some feeling in it. And sometimes I'll shake someone's hand. It's such a great handshake. It's like, because I can tell they're putting something into it. And the same is true with a hug. Sometimes you get this little hug that's like, like, I don't even like doing this, but I'll do it because you're making me do it. And then there's a hug that's like, I like you. I mean, hugs can be just wonderful, and they can be very flat. So I'm just giving that as an example. But we want our heart into it, because that's all Krishna wants. Is the heart. That's bhakti. That's bhakti. Okay, we're at the end of our time. Thank you all so much. Great being with you.
Thank you, Gurudev. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Next week. Anybody needs me in the meantime, holler out for me. I'm always here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakapatrupyascha kripa sindurvayavaccha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna.